I think that hit a very deep. I don't want to say nerve, but hit a deep.
Hit a nerve, bro. You're offended. What are you offended about?
Not offended, not at all.
What did Pastor Todd tell you that you're offended about, bro?
No, what I kind of, it's just interesting because I like the series that he's having, that calling it Easy Money and all that. You know what I mean? And how he's had the way he's
last series,
the way he's putting it. I peep into their stuff. Like I said, I listen to the podcast more than anything because I like to just
it's the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm not watch. That's just one of
need
their.
to see his facial expressions.
I usually see that's what I see on Instagram. But what I'm trying to say is that the way he was laying it down, like I'm very interested into this one. But what I'm trying to say is more of that. It's something that I'm very putting as a priority for myself personally this year is to take control and manage my finances properly. Yeah, and I like how he put it, from management to motives to multiplication, right?
To many others,
you know, right? So it's like, you know, many people aspire to first and foremost, you know, get a career, be successful so they can have a house, you know, have a family. And a lot of us, for the most part, is also like, I mean, I know me and Enzo speak about it a lot, and I know, Byron, you too. I'm pretty sure you and your brother think about it. It's also, you know, I want to, in a sense, take care of my parents or you know, at least to the point where they don't got to worry about anything. You know what I mean? We're that support system type of thing. And I see that just as an example of how like, for example, my mom looked out for my grandma, you know, financially. And it all starts from the way that you do those first steps, your management, your motives, and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Just even thinking about that.
Like, you know what I mean?
My
like
mom's motive was
it trickles down. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, if you as a next generation want to do that.
Her motives were to build a house, take care of mom, put her brother and sisters through school.
Yeah.
Help their kids.
All that.
Then she still had her kids.
Yeah.
Have her own house. Damn, bro, it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
It's savage lady right there.
And it all started, and that's something that my dad's always prided about his wife, is that, oh, she knows how to manage money. She knows how to administer that.
Oh, yeah, he knows how to manage money, too, because he manages her to manage. I'm just kidding now. Doesn't be somebody out there getting mad for me saying that. But nah, he definitely picked the right one to manage his bank account. Because, I mean, I feel like that's very important, bro.
It's just interesting, too, how like that, we're talking about that aspect of things, like, it's so different nowadays, you know what I mean? Because it's like, sometimes you get into a relationship thinking, oh, I need to have a prenup or all that stuff, because of, like, you can say the culture, what it's dictating because of, you know, of all that stuff too. But it's like,
I never gone into marriage thinking I need a prenup. I didn't go into marriage thinking that. No, like, even I agree. I'm glad my wife was the same way. She said that she didn't believe in divorce and that she didn't. It's about figuring it out, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're gonna put it like that, shit. If you're gonna think about a prenup, bro, that's a red flag.
That's what I'm saying. But like, it's at the same time, it's just become such a norm to think about. I feel like
it's a norm for rich people, though.
No doubt. But you think about someone that you get to that point where you're not rich, but you at least have.
Were you gonna do a prenup?
Huh? Was I gonna do a prenup? Nah, I mean, not in that aspect. I think that it's like,
if you have a lot of money, maybe you consider
not even just a lot of money. If you just have, like, let's say you have assets,
that's a lot of money
too.
Because once you sell the assets,
I think if you just have things in general that are just
money generating,
you know what I mean?
That's money
for sure.
But
I just think there's a big difference.
I feel like that's why rich people do it.
Cash.
That's why I feel like rich people do it, because of the fact that. Mm-hmm. I don't know what her intent. I don't know what her motives.
But that's what I'm trying to say, is that, especially in the United States, and what I'm pretty sure everywhere, what establishes, you could say, the culture, what establishes the norm, if you will. It's the rich people. It's the celebrities. So when our generation or younger generation see these celebrities getting all these stuff, they're like, oh, I'm gonna do that because I don't want no one to take my money.
Then you realize. I make $50,000 a year. I'm not gonna.
No doubt, but
so
it's
how
like,
does that even make sense?
Because there's people. There's certain people that think that way. I don't think that way.
Yes, but let me just elaborate on thinking that way. You think that way until you figure out, oh shit, I gotta go get a lawyer to even start a prenup. You don't do that just yourself, bro. You get lawyers to do this.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like an official contract.
It's a false reality that people watch these.
It's a false pretense, right?
No, it's a false reality because people are like watching this thing on shows and on like, soap operas, and
All
they
that
watch
stuff.
vlogs or YouTubers getting, but YouTubers got like 2 million followers each and they split. And obviously they could afford, and they have assets at that point. It's like, who's gonna get the YouTube channel? Fuck that! I've been editing this whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So it's like it's another aspect of it. That's why I feel like it's a healthy dose of reality though, because you think you got money for a prenup till the lawyer's like, okay, I need this type of retainer to just start the process, or this is the process to start. Even to get married, bro, it's not cheap.
And it's interesting to me too, bro, because it's like, you have certain people, like, and I hear this mostly from the female side when they're sort of like saying, oh, I need a partner that's gonna make 6 figures and all that stuff. And just listening to this part, it's like you can make 6 figures and blow it all because you don't know how to manage your money. You know what I mean?
Because you married the wrong girl. That's after the 6
or not
figures
even just
doesn't know how to manage your money.
Or not even just that. You just make your own wrong decisions in your own lifestyle that you don't retain that 100K throughout the year. You end up, what do you have to show in the bank account? You know what I mean? And I've had to make that reflection on myself, to be honest with you. Where sometimes I'll do my taxes and I'm like, damn, I made this much this year.
Where'd it go?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever had that, Byron.
Yeah, actually this year.
Exactly. So
not just this year, but
and other years. You know what I mean? So
what
that's for me personally. It's something that I'm trying to just think not just ahead, but for all occasions. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have money for different things, I feel, and invest them in different things and do different things with them.
I feel like our culture is such a fast-paced culture that
instant gratification.
They don't. It's microwavable. That nobody thinks about having a emergency fund. Nobody thinks about having money to play with. This is my money to play with. Nobody thinks about, oh, this is my bill money. This is my
and I also think about
my contingency money, like things that just could come up.
And sometimes you don't realize how much of, like how we're saying, you could be a blessing to the people around you, to immediate family type of thing. And it's like sometimes people want to be so eager to do their own thing when it's like, you can also with the opportunity that the people have made on it, you can go back and bless. That's why I always think about, like, for example, my parents thank God they've made the proper decisions and all that stuff, so that they're, in a sense, I don't want to say set, but they don't have to rely on us. But at the same time, it's like, in certain aspects they do, and in other aspects it's like, if we can just be that extra help where they don't have to trip on, like, oh, this is taken care of because they got their stuff situated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, that goes.
They have confidence.
I gotta tip my hat to them for the fact that they raised us to be self-sufficient. You know what I mean? Because you can't help nobody if you're not self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And if you're not pushing yourself at a young age to become self-sufficient, that was something that I was talking to one of my clients yesterday. It was a younger kid. He was 19. And I was telling him how my dad would always tell me, like, yo, I don't expect you to be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, because I can tell you're not academically in there. You don't like that. And I'm like, I don't. But I saw that he was a mechanic, and he said, do something with your hands, right? I've said this in the podcast before, but the fact that he instilled that in me to be like, yo, just figure your lane out so that you can be self-sufficient, because if, God forbid, I'm not here, who's going to take care of you?
Exactly.
And that was nothing that he never told me he's not going to be here when I was younger, but I didn't know that,
Never,
so the fact that, he really was like, yo, I need you to be able to take care of yourself just in case I'm not here in the future.
Yeah. And even extended from that, bro, I see how much stuff my dad does around the house, for example. And it's like, if you didn't know how to do those things, you're gonna be paying people to do that stuff.
Facts.
I mean, obviously, if you have the means, by all means. And our parents where they came to a point where since they were paying off the house, all that stuff, they obviously didn't have the means to get someone to do it. But at the same time, it's an extra skill that you're just, you know what I mean? You're tending to your own garden, basically. It's your crib. If you have the time to do it, it's like an extra. It's like a cherry on top. You know what I mean? Type of thing.
I mean, shoot, I wish I could be half the man my pops is, because he's
no doubt. But think about it this way, Enzo. Think about the things that you're able to get done at the shop, at least on your own, because of what you learned from my pops.
For sure. I mean,
you know what I mean? Look, you just said it the other day. I think yesterday you said it. I painted the bathroom.
Right.
Some people won't even pick up a paintbrush. You know what I mean?
Definitely. That I shout out to Pops for showing me how to.
Yeah, showing us how to paint.
Paint, how to
write, all that type of stuff.
Just show us how to do things that a man should be able to do.
Handiwork.
Yeah, you should be able to. use a hammer, use a screwdriver, use a drill,
and it's no shame to nobody that don't know how to do that, by the way, and all that stuff.
No, but that's why.
But
I
it's
say,
just
like,
it's an extra added bonus that it's like that I've learned from my pops. Like for example, my sister comes to I do her oil changes all the time. And I learned that from my dad. You know what I mean? I could damn near doing oil change. That's one thing that
I didn't pick up on my pops. I mean, I have like I have an idea of what to do, but it's also that thing that it's like, fuck, I don't have that down, like memorized, you know, but I know how to fucking change a tire.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
exactly, you know what I mean?
So it's like
all those little things, they matter though. I don't know if you know this. There's this guy on YouTube that he basically did, or on TikTok,
like
something.
Something
if I had a dad, something that he dedicates his whole YouTube channel to show people how to do like those handyman thing or anything like that.
And that's the thing, because a lot of people, it's like we live in a generation also that it's a lot of single parent households, so it's a lot of single moms raising kids, boys, young men, and sometimes these women had to teach these boys how to change a tire. Sometimes they didn't have nobody to teach you, so that's where that comes in, you know, and like that's why I commend everybody that didn't have a pops that still figured it out.
Definitely,
because you know, if you have a little initiative, you're gonna figure yourself out.
For sure. And I think that's definitely a key word where people lack a lot of times, you know what I mean?
In this day and age, initiative, I mean, just
the instant gratification of things,
right,
too.
People don't want to get it done. Like, and honestly, I'm a graduate. I'm not even a graduate. I'm still in the University of YouTube, so you can learn anything on YouTube.
Yep.
If you just, we live in a day and age where you don't have to open an encyclopedia to like, you know what I'm saying?
Something I'm trying to get deeper into myself personally is like the whole graphic design stuff and whatnot. That's something that does intrigue me and stuff like that. And I don't want to have to go back to a 4-year university or anything like that to get something like that. So it's like there's even courses that are not on YouTube that people that have done that route or just learned everything on their own, that they put out these courses, and you know you can get a lot from those things and from, like you said, YouTube and whatnot. So I think you said Skillshare is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of
master classes.
Yeah, there's all the type of stuff that you can definitely dive.
It's about being resourceful as a man, especially. I feel like men should really be resourceful. As you know, you have a cell phone that's powerful. It's just as powerful as a computer.
Yeah,
you can people make Grammy Award beats on a phone sometimes. You know
what's crazy? I don't know if I believe Einstein said this. He said, the moment you stop learning is the moment you stop dying.
Yeah, you start dying.
You start dying, you know what I mean? And I've kind of, as in the last, I want to say so often, I feel like I've felt that personally, and I feel like that's some kind of, like you say, a hunger that's driven me, that it's not just about, you can say money or anything, it's just the trying to learn knowledge and extend your skills. And just the other day, I work a lot in, like, you know, live events and audio and all that stuff. And I got to go see one of like the bigger companies, like warehouse and all their gear. And shout out to the homie Enrique that was able to show me that. He also showed me how it is to prep a show and all that type of stuff. And it just made me realize how much I have to learn to get to the next level. And it's like, in a sense, from the level I was at, I felt like in a sense, I'm starting to die, because it's like you're
plateau.
Yeah, you're plateauing. And in audio, there's just so much to do. There's someone, you know, for example, if there was someone here, like, you know, if I had a sick ass team and this was live, there'd be one person mixing what the crowd is listening to. There'd be one person mixing what we're doing here in our ears, and there'd be one person mixing what's going to video. You know what I mean? All separate jobs. So it's like there's all those people doing those jobs, and there's someone controlling the communication system between production teams. So it's like there's so much that jobs that are going to, especially when you get to bigger events, whether it be festivals or corporate events, all that stuff. So I was like, bro, I have so much to learn.
It's never ending.
It's never ending. And the guy even told me that when we were leaving, he was like, man, like, there's certain things that you should have already learned, you know what I mean? Just so, he's like, but, you know, it's never too late. Just like, he told me, start learning these programs, start learning all these systems, all these things. So when the call comes, you meet, you know, you're there. And as I was leaving there, I was like, man, I've always preached this to people, is that you got to prepare yourself to meet that opportunity that just intersects with you. And
I taught you that.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's something that I've just seen time after time, and it's like I've got into places where it's like I wasn't prepared, and it showed, and it bit me in the ass, and I look back at it and I'm like, okay, you learn from it now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And right now, again, on a personal aspect, it's also with money. You know what I mean? I'm about to be 27 years old, and there's certain things that happened in my life in the last couple of years, I would have been married right now, bro. I would have been going towards the second year of marriage type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I think about like, bro, what would that been like? You know, financially speaking, you know? Because it's like, people have expectations. Like, it was a trip, bro. My pastor was talking about that this week.
Yeah, but he was like, people bite you in the ass.
But he was saying it's realistic that when you're going into marriage, you're going to have expectations.
Right.
And it's like, if you don't speak those expectations or anything like that, things are going to clash, all that type of stuff. I personally felt like in some aspect I didn't have that. So
you didn't speak on the expectations?
They didn't. You know what I mean?
On their end.
Yeah. I kind of did. But when shit hit the fan, it came to show that expectations weren't aligned and all that type of stuff. So it's like I think about it, I'm like, man, if I would have been married, how would that affected, you know, finances, career moves, all that type of stuff? Because
the podcast.
Shit, you know what I mean?
Nah, I mean, even like
all that is dead ass though. But it is. But it comes down to, again, having all that stuff like lined up. You know, having yourself like making, because at the same time, bro, the moment I was gonna do that, I had just graduated. Pandemic had hit. It was a lot of circumstances.
But as a man that is married, and like today, I had a conversation with my wife that I know it was uncomfortable for her because of the position she plays for my family and everything. Like, she's the mom. She's my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say how I'm going to say it, but because it sounds kind of messed up, but the only way I could formulate to say it is I set myself up in my 20s to be able to take care of a family and you know, provide and all that. And even to be the one to be the breadwinner, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my goal, bro. That was my thing. Like, I want to be the one.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't. But today I had to tell her, on a personal level, I had to tell her, like, she wants to be a breadwinner too. She wants to be able to, like, provide and like, financially and bring income and like, be the breadwinner sometimes. Like, she wants to have that title. And I had to tell her, like, I don't need you to help me in that way. And it went from, because we're looking for another place to stay. I want something closer to the shop. She doesn't mind the commute she does. She doesn't care. That's what she told me today. And I was like, look, I care about it because my business is, things happen in my business that I need to be closer there to be at any time.
Definitely.
Just to need to be there, right? And logically, that makes logical sense to me. And I told her, if you're my business partner in this business, because there's certain aspects that I delegate these tasks to her so that I can focus on the business, on the service, on the environment, and then I let her do the other bookkeeping and stuff that just helps me so much. But so then today an opportunity came that she had 2 interviews. One was this, one was that. And I told her which one's going to help us take it to the next level. She starts telling me this one's going to help me in this way and this is going to help me in this way. And I said, what do you want to do? Started getting a little elevated because we weren't listening to each other. Her expectations were this and my expectations were this.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to be like, all right, since I'm the leader of it, and I'm like trying to make it make sense, I'm telling her, you don't care about community because you're not the one with the business. You're not the one that has to show your face there all the time. You're not the one that I'm supposed to always be there. And when I started kind of moving the logic to the left and then, the right, and then moving the feelings to your left, I told her, like, look, you don't care about the commute because that's your feelings. That's how you feel about the situation. I care about that. So you need to align with me to make my life easier. And in the bigger picture, it's going to make your life easier.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it has to be like your partner has to have trust in your decision making. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that, other relationships aren't going to be the same. Because, bro, I think that every relationship is different.
For sure.
There's some people, bro, that have an initiative mentality. They're the ones to take initiative. And some men have to be able to know when to delegate that part of the relationship where it's like, I'm not strong suited for this. She is. I'm going to take the second.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's the whole beauty of for example, like, not just marriage, but just a relationship.
A partnership.
No, real talk. And especially between, a man and a woman, because you have that deeper, not that deeper thing, but it's just the differences of weaknesses and strengths just complement each other to the point where and that's the way that it's I feel like it's intended to be, you know what I mean?
Exactly, because
and a lot of times it may not be like that off bat, especially when you get over the honeymoon phase and all that type of stuff. But it's our job as just human beings to learn how to make it work. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's where you navigate marriage.
Definitely.
That's where you got to figure out
everything. You know what I mean?
You know, you're gonna make mistakes.
Even a partnership within a business. You know, there's gonna be different business ideas or whatever it is. You know, and you got to learn how to be able to either bring it back to the center point. Like, hey, this is our you could say our
This is the bigger picture.
Bigger picture. This is the company's
this is the end goal.
Yeah, this is the company's like vision, if you will.
This is the business statement.
And if it's not, yeah, exactly. If it's going away from that, that's when we have to align it to that. But if it's always pushing that forward, then you know,
and that's where I had to tell her, like, look, I'm the one that created the business. I'm the one that this business can reap a lot of benefit, it can yield a lot of gold if we really do it right. And I told her, like, I feel like this option and this job will help us and get there faster, just being closer, being like, and, you know, I think she really is considering it. Hopefully she makes the right decision. Hopefully we make the right decision. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, bro, like, I think relationships and any type of relationship, communication is key. Compromise is key. Taking initiative is key.
For sure.
And, like, being able to delegate your strengths and weaknesses. Mm-hmm. But all that goes back into the communication. Like, if you don't have communication, you're not gonna. And then your pride has to drop. I know sometimes, men, we have big egos because we're builders, we're creators, you know. But I feel like women facilitate that creativity. You know, like there sometimes women are a man's muse, where a man's not chasing the bag for himself. He's chasing the bag to show a female I can provide so I can start a family. So
yeah,
like, you know what I mean? If you're not chasing your muse, like, what are you really doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, ultimately, as a man, you just got to be able to step up and do what you got to do right, because they gonna hold us accountable. And that's what I feel like marriage does for a man. Like, marriage is just an accountability check.
And that's what I'm gonna tell men too. If you don't want to be held accountable, don't get with a woman.
Right.
Like, stay single.
And
type of thing, because it's for sure, bro. It's without a doubt. And I've known that in just about every relationship I've been in. For sure they're gonna hold you accountable, bro. Whether it's about loyalty or whatever it is that they gonna hold you accountable.
And even when it comes down to sex,
there's a reason too why God gave them a deeper intuition. You know what I mean? Because a lot of women, our dad always told us this, that you can't lie to two women, your mom and your girl.
Nah, they definitely know.
Have a deeper. God gave them that, and they didn't give it to us.
You could definitely get.
We're logical, but their intuition is something else.
Yeah, you could definitely think you're getting away with some of the things, but, like, it's just
I don't know if you've ever.
My mom would always say this, and then I married a woman that loved this motto. This is her motto also. Everything that's done in the dark will come in light. Like, so, I mean, sometimes we say it in our face, and sometimes it comes out to bite us in the ass down the line. So it's just about, you know.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that saying's from real, bro. It's funny how I've lived that saying on both sides, bro. Where I've like have been on the side where it's like I'm keeping something and it comes out to light, and someone has kept something from me and it comes out to light, and bro, it's pretty crazy.
Nah, it definitely is a painful reality, bro. That, you know, I definitely don't want to be on that spotlight anymore.
Me neither. Like, trust me.
Where the spotlight's like, whoop, this is in the dark and the spotlight's on, you know, like,
yeah.
You're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, trust me. There's a recent situation that's came up for me recently, bro, where I'm, and I think I just told you about this when we went to get the shoes the other day, where I'm waving heavily on it, where I'm like, bruv, if I do that, it's cool, like, but it could come back to bite me in the ass. Even though right now it's like there's literally like no repercussions, you could say, but at the same time it's like you just don't know, bruv.
Elaborate.
Nah.
I'm trying to remember what we talked about.
I'll tell you about it later.
All right, but nah, man, like, because I guess I want to know now. But you know what? I feel like this quarter, because this quarter is about to come to an end, the first quarter of the year, and
that's when I know my birthday coming around.
Exactly.
Oof.
But like, all right, this first quarter of 2023 has definitely been an eye opener, and it's kind of been it's been the one for me to be. It's like an evaluation phase for me, where I'm like evaluating what needs to come to the next level with me, what needs to drop off, what part of my character, my integrity, what part of my essence as a human being even needs to change. Like, and it's kind of like interesting because I never expected to be a man and get challenged in this way, and like you need to drop certain tendencies and habits of yours. You know what I'm saying? Certain belief systems that we have, and I feel like it got tested this year. And now that I'm like trying to get it to the next level, I'm trying to transition into the next being of who I want to be. It's very challenging because unlearning things that you condition yourself to believe are true, or condition yourself to become habitual about yourself is fucking,
it's insane.
Like, even cursing, bro. Like, that's one thing that I want to take away from me. And like every time I curse now, it's so conscious. I'm so conscious of like, you just cursed again. Yeah. And it's like, it's a conscious effort that don't curse, but when it does come out, it's like a red flag.
It's interesting to me because I've noticed for me personally, it's always the part of the environment I'm in.
I feel like I've made it so much of my environment that I curse that it's just like part of who I am, that I didn't care that, like, bro, I used to have a certain reverence for a pastor. If I'm around a pastor, I wouldn't curse.
Well, yeah,
but
if I'm at church, I don't curse, bro.
Yeah, but it got to a point where for me, I was like, I'm just going to be me authentically. And it's like, no, this is not you anymore. Like, you know? You. But
I went to Home Depot today. On the way to Home Depot, I'm in the far right lane. Yeah, right lane. And I'm trying to get into the next left lane because there's a car just parked there like an idiot. And the first car doesn't let me in. And then the next car, I'm already getting in and it's a truck. And he starts honking at me. I'm like, bruv, like, you see me in my blinker, you see me. So I get in. And as soon as we cross the car that's just parked there, that car behind me, he gets into that next lane and just is just chilling there, like not even like speeding up. I'm like, bro, you're like making all this fuss for nothing. And then after that, I'm coming out of the Home Depot to get walking like to my car already, and there's Mercedes backing up. And dude is like, I can straight see him looking back, and he's just like barely about to hit me if I don't like step out of the way, bro. And I'm like, bro, like, and then I noticed in those two moments, bro, I just let it rip. I'm like, this motherfucker, you know what I mean?
You know what I think about
all
things
that
like
type of stuff.
Because I have a Mercedes, and I've done that to people where I feel like they think I'm about to hit them, but trust me, that Mercedes camera is so like HD that
I don't care, bro.
You just don't know because you can't see the camera he's seeing.
Still,
you know what I'm saying? But
I saw him looking back.
Why is he looking back?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't looking at his camera, bro. He was looking. That's what pissed me off more. I'm like, bro, you're straight. Like, one thing that's just like, if you're backing up and you're not noticing,
is
or
it
like,
an old Mercedes?
Bro, it looked like it's in the last 5 years. It has to have a camera in there.
Right.
It was not like a fucking like 2001 or something like that. It was like
started coming into cars like what, 2016?
10, bro. Bro, you have a 2010 Lexus that has a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's luxury though.
You're talking about Mercedes, bro. Nah, bro. Jeez.
Clip it. No, just kidding.
Come on, bro.
Anywho,
let's talk about Mercedes. Of course, they probably had it before Lexus did.
You started cursing them out, or you said it in your head?
Nah, I straight said it. I was like,
to him?
I was on the phone with somebody.
Oh, okay.
But I started saying, like, I started telling the person I was talking to, I was like, this mother, you know what I mean? Type of thing, you know what I mean? So, yeah, bro. Just recapping the whole thing, man. Just it's important to just not just manage your money, but your time. Everything that you're allotted to while you're on this earth, you have to manage it properly.
Even your body.
Everything, man. Everything.
If you don't know how to manage your body, your mind, your pocket, your time,
eating habits, part of body, you know what I mean, all that type of stuff. Just to be a little more specific is what I'm trying to say. Because me personally, bro, right now I feel like it was messing me up. Cause I get home and I like late night type of stuff, and I like to snack on something. You know what I mean? Get some cereal going.
At home?
Like get some cereal, get some cookies. You know,
I feel like that never has snacks.
No, like the OG stuff, cereal, cookies, just like that stuff you're gonna eat before.
But like I feel like that house doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah, it does. Bro, I got Cookie Crisp, I got Cocoa Puffs.
You buy that stuff?
I got Fruit Loops. I got some chocolate chip
No
cookies.
wonder the workout efforts ain't giving
Got some
results.
Oreo. Hey, bro, Byron be seeing the results. Trust me.
In the strength, but not in the physique.
And he sees the physique too. It's all good though. But yeah, for sure, those things are what holds me
definitely.
back.
I see the physique now in the arms.
So I'm trying my best to get home and just water. If I feel like it.
That's what it's challenging. I'm actually surprised I'm drinking water right now.
Yeah, bro, it's life right here, bro. Trust me. I'm not sponsored by Kirkland, but
take a sip of this, but
80% water made. You know what I'm saying?
Because that'd make my wife proud.
Oh yeah, me too. Even me, I'm trying to work on myself on like drinking more water, and I'm already supposed to drink more water because I have a kidney transplant, you know. And
sick ass food.
I'm trying to cut.
Drinking enough water with that kidney, bro.
Yep.
Now I could be better, you know, but like what I'm trying to get at is that like I feel like I've implemented soda a lot too, you know.
Bruh, I'm addicted to soda.
Yeah, I've been trying to stay away from that as much as I can.
Soda, Chips Ahoy Thins. Have you guys ever tried Chips Ahoy Thin?
Yeah, from you.
Yeah.
Bruh.
But I don't get them. I'm like,
You guys like Oreos or Chips Ahoy better?
Chips Ahoy.
Honestly, bro, I fluctuate between the two. There's times where I'm like, all right, I want some Oreos now. So I get some Oreos, and I'm on that for like a little bit, and then I'll go back to my Chips Ahoy.
I used to fluctuate.
But not Chips. Honestly, right now I haven't been doing Chips Ahoy. Target has these they have these chocolate chip cookies that like it's their store brand, but it's like freshly made type of things. So I love those cookies.
I used to fluctuate. Well, I fluctuate back and forth from Hostess chocolate donuts, like the little bag they sell.
I do their cupcakes, bro. Their cupcakes.
I can't do that. I don't like the white filling.
Even
though I'll eat it, but
I love that. I love that cream filling.
Balls. But drinks.
I was like Dwayne Wade with LeBron James. I was like, you guys were like, pause.
I feel like you kind of said that on purpose, but anyway.
I know he said that. He threw that up there just to. But no, that's definitely something that. And then bro, I just got introduced to Baskin Robbins milkshakes, the ice cream milkshakes.
Oh, you didn't do.
I ain't never tried them till like maybe
a
month ago,
Enzo
bro.
likes milkshakes now,
bro. So every day, I'm proud of myself today that I didn't buy one. Every day, guys.
Hey, bro, that's like people with Starbucks, though.
Offer. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to justify it by. Because people try at the shop. It's like, oh, he got his and I always offer the guys stuff at the shop.
People get the Frappuccino.
But that should be coming out expensive when I Postmate it. But
for sure,
no shame in posting and showing you guys my.
Damn,
every day for a minute, yo.
Bro, that be adding up though. That's like something. Okay, look, bro. Let me tell you this. Nothing. You're saying, yeah.
Motives.
So here's something you're talking about. You reflected in this first quarter of the year.
My fat motives, right there, right?
So I also went to El Salvador this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went for 2 weeks, basically, bro. I had the time of my life. And I haven't had a vacation like that 3 years, bro. You know what I mean? Since 2019 going to 2020.
7 years.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel your pain even more. But guarantee you that the moment.
So burpy today?
Sorry.
Was it the burger?
It's the In-N-Out, bro. I guarantee you though. And then we're drinking water right now. That's what a hamburger is all about. I just said that because of John Ireland. He always be saying that because it's sponsored by the Lakers.
In-N-Out sponsored the Lakers?
Yeah. They're on the radio station. That's what they say all the time. Mm-hmm. So, point is that I went to El Salvador, right? I had time of my life. And once you go and you get yourself like 2 weeks off, bro, you're going to feel like a new person. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because I came back feeling like, oh, bro, like relieved, bro. Like so certain things that were weighted on my chest, weighing on my back, just gone, bro. I thank God so much for that. And what I also kind of took from that was I got to do this more often. And the only way I'm going to be able to do this more often is if I manage my money and I sacrifice those type of things. So I've been doing my best, trying not to eat out, all that type of stuff.
See, that's one thing that in my book, honestly, since of my type of work,
but yes, but the fact that you got a milkshake every day for I don't know how many days that was, that's not good. To me,
I look at it like
that's not good.
One of my haircuts in that day paid for it.
Still not good.
One of my, like I'm gonna just
still not good for your health and not good for your wallet.
You know what, bro?
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be honest with you.
My motives speak to how I deserve it after a long day. Nah, not even that. Sometimes I get it for lunch, so I won't eat lunch and I'll just get that.
It's not good.
Of course it's not, but you know, I'm still 30.
But yeah, that's something that I was able to reflect when I went on vacation. I was like, man, I got to do this more often. I got to do this again.
No,
I want to travel more. And the only way I can do any of those things if I get finances right.
Yeah, I need to stop buying these UFC fights, man. Fuck.
Hey, man,
hey, it's true. Like, these UFC fights fucking expensive, bro. Like, what is it? Like $80 now?
We have another one this week.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You just have to split that one, guys.
Stream it. I mean, what?
Nah,
find
fuck
it online.
that. I can't stream this shit no more, bro. It's just I'd rather pay for the stream.
Hey, bro, this last time you paid for it, bro, it messed us up when we were watching Shevchenko Grasso, bro.
That was wild. Hey, we still made it work.
That was your internet, though, right?
It was the internet. It wasn't the stream. Yeah, it was Spectrum.
Yeah.
Spectrum in the rain that weekend.
Yeah, man.
See, that's why I want to get away from this area. I want to go back to like that area. I feel like right here in this area, there's a lot of outages. Even though I've heard of a lot of outages over there too.
I have not experienced an outage in Van Nuys with Spectrum, so thank God.
Really?
Yeah. So far, so good.
What about you?
What do you have? You have Spectrum internet as well?
Yeah.
No outages over there?
Nah.
How's that area where you're at, bro? You
No
feel
viejas?
like it's
Sin viejas?
you know, Barbran's
Sin viejas.
I mean sin viejas.
No ho?
Yeah, like sin viejas.
Like the internet or like just like the area?
Just the area. Like, so, you know, you grew up over there, bro. We grew up over there. Do you guys? Because I definitely see Van Nuys getting a little like.
I mean, I tell you this, bro. When in El Salvador, I felt safer out there than I do here.
What about in NoHo? What do you feel?
When I get home and all that stuff, I gotta like, all right, make sure I gotta take out the block. I'm not saying like it's that bad, but it's like there's just little things you just gotta be more aware of. I feel even anywhere, but in El Salvador, bro, before I even want to take like.
But I feel like I've always been like that aware in the valley, bro. We didn't grow up.
No doubt. But what you're alluding to is like, for example, a lot of homelessness. Like I have a video right now I'm gonna show you guys of this guy that he was literally on the corner of our, not at the house, but of the block, like right there at the corner of Van Nuys and whatnot, bro. And he was like sniffing this like weird paste looking stuff, bro. Like weird, dude. And I was like, what is this fool doing? And so things like that. Then you see, then like theft is bro. It doesn't matter where you are, you can get robbed. Type of thing, you know what I mean?
I mean, you can get robbed, burglarized, like
a lot of stuff. Yeah, has been happening as of lately. Let me find that video.
Even next to my shop, they just robbed Byron in NoHo. Is your area like has it gotten better or worse? What? What the fuck? You videotaped them? Is that the day we were talking at McDonald's?
I don't know, but that guy he's like straight up just like.
This is Vesper?
Yeah, bro.
Where are you at? Oh, this is Vesper in Renoan.
I have to bleep all that shit, bro. Yeah, bro.
What the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And he don't even look like he's dressed bad. Like, all his stuff looks new.
Bro, that thing, I'll show you the video right now, Byron. It's pretty trippy.
This was today.
Yes. Before, on my way over here.
No, but to answer your question, Enzo, well, at least the block where I live at right now, the only thing that I find in ghetto is like there's like paisas who be kicking it out there and drinking a lot, and it's cool, you know. They want to have their fun and stuff, but it makes it seem ghetto. They be even playing poker.
For real?
Yeah.
On the street?
Yeah, there's like my building. You know how there's 3 buildings? There's one in one of the 2 buildings. There's like an exit that looks like cars would come in and out, but it's always been enclosed, so they just like hide in there pretty much type of thing.
What the fuck?
But I have seen more, what do you call it, taggings like from gangs, like Ali Locos, so I feel like they're coming up or they're been around again.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot in Van Nuys, all the BVN tats.
We've seen it lately too.
I was watching this guy, shout out to American Cholo. He's from North Hollywood also. He was saying how like you can start seeing how the gangs are starting to pick up again in certain neighborhoods when the tags are starting to come back. And it was true what he was saying in the interview that I was watching, because in the last like from 2010 to like 2000, I would say 17, you didn't really see graffiti and Van Nuys in North Hollywood.
Not as much.
Now you're starting to see that shit all over again. And like, I'm surprised our house hasn't been like vandalized that way, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like where they've like, cause even in front of Jock's house, they put the BVN on his fucking shit, and I was like, that shit bothered me because I was like, why y'all doing this shit? You know what I'm saying?
And no, I mean, this whole defund the police thing and all that stuff that happened during the pandemic, bro, really like messed with things and whatnot. And I think that's really where things kind of all collide, and why we're seeing a lot more different things because
we've stripped the police and then Gascon.
We've also stripped the police of a lot of things that they can do in a sense and all that type of stuff. And it's like you said, like Gascon, people will commit a crime, and it's if they're a first-time offender or anything like that, they're out on the street, even if they just robbed a house.
There's no repercussions.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
For people.
And that's why a lot of people decided to leave California and all that type of stuff, because things like that, you know what I mean? And instead of like, solving a problem, they're creating more. And I'm coming back from a country where the reason I say I feel safer is because not only do I see policemen around, but I see military, and I don't see military like oppressing anybody. They're just protecting people. And what sucks here too is that the laws are so in a sense kind of also meant to, I don't want to say, but it's kind of screw people in a sense. So it's like also we got to a point here where like I feel like the cops here, when you deal with them, they're kind of trying to screw you over, you know what I mean? Give you a ticket or something like over like some petty stuff like, oh, you have a busted light, or I don't know, something like that, you know what I mean? Instead of them trying to help you in a time of need type of thing, where they're more enforcing that side of the law, where instead of it's actually protecting people and that type of thing. So,
but like let's touch on that topic of El Salvador, because there's a lot of people that like the president of Colombia gave him some shit, right? But then I kind of think about how it feels like a police state. Like, yeah, you get safe, you feel safe, and you're able to go out. But then it's like I don't know, at least like in my head, I think about how it would work here if we had that type of security here, right?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, would I be able to, like, chief if I wanted to? Or, you know what I'm saying? Because it's it's like certain things that, I don't know if I'm going to be chiefing it by the end of this year, I'm just saying. But it's a trip how I see that I see both sides. Because I also hear, like, I had a client that said that one of his cousin in El Salvador sells cars.
Yeah.
Or he works at a place where they rent cars.
Yeah.
And one of the guys that rented the car from him was a Marero. And the Marero crossed to another country and came back with drugs, but got caught in the border. His cousin got locked up because he rented a car to him, because they were thinking that he's in
cahoots with him.
He's in the loop with them.
Yeah.
And my client was like, my cousin's not involved in no gang. He's not from anywhere. He's just doing his job, and the wrong people rented the car.
Yeah.
And then now, hold
I've heard,
on, let me finish. Then there's the aspect of the president. You lose your rights as somebody that's in prison, somebody that gets locked up in El Salvador. You don't have no calling rights. You can't call. You get lost in the system. And that's where I feel like E is starting to.
So we have a cousin.
It's worse than over here, because over here you can at least get free calls now in California.
We have a cousin that's a public defender over there.
All right.
And he told me about different situations in which when they deal with anybody that's a gang member and all that type of stuff, and it all depends on how your what your charge is and what your all that type of stuff, you know what I mean. And also they look into all of your stuff too. So I'm pretty sure in that situation, I hope so too, that they're gonna look into all of his of his environment, all that type of stuff of you know what I mean, because for example, our cousin gave us an example where this one guy that he was publicly defending got caught up with a good amount of weed, and then with wad of cash and all that type of stuff. So he said the cash was his and that it was personal use. And then it's like he's telling this to the public defenders, our cousin, right? And he's like listening to him, and it's like they're not gonna believe that, number one. And then on top of that, he has a big ass tattoo on his back that's gang affiliated, and a straight up MS on his back. And he's trying to say, "Oh, it's because my mom's name is Maria Sanchez." It's like, bro, no one's gonna believe that shit. You know what I mean? He's like, I might believe you. The judges ain't gonna believe you though, type stuff. And it's like they go and they look at how deep your affiliation can really be, type of stuff. Like that's from what I'm understanding. It is that because they don't just you don't have any rights anymore. It just depends on how gruesome you are. If you're someone that like kind of the ones that we see on these on IG and stuff, where they're all like, you could tell these fools are gang affiliated by the way that they're all tatted up and type of stuff. Like those fools get, from what I understand, definitely a different treatment because they're seen as like you're part of like terrorizing the people.
So
if you're someone that's caught up, or they're assuming, or or you are like an accomplice to them, like I do think from what he told me, they take the proper means to innocent until proven guilty type of thing.
Remember that one guy we met that we knew from church a long time ago? Damn, I want to remember his name, bro.
What's the point of the whole thing, though?
But
the whole story.
I trip out on how, like, I met him at church. And then years later, bro, I don't know how he got deported. But I ended up seeing him in a documentary on like a Vice documentary about El Salvador. They're, like, looking at the humane rights of the prisoners over there. And it tripped me out, bro, because I saw the guy there. I saw the guy. Like, you know how you remember a face, bro?
Yeah.
Never gonna forget a face you meet, especially somebody that was, like, talking about the word of God with you.
Yeah.
So it's like seeing this guy's face in the jail and on my computer screen. I was like, what the? I think I remember showing you and telling you, like, yo, bro, didn't we know this guy from Church on the Way? Not Church on the Way, but from the first church we went to. And now just thinking about him, like how I knew him in this country, right? And then who knows what happened to him, that he got deported or he ended up over there. But over here, he's trying to change his life. I think about people like that are like trying to rehab themselves, their mentality, everything. And then once you've scribed your body with something, and you've inked your body with this
insignia,
this diabolical horns that people get, right? How don't you deserve a second chance? So that's where I kind of like, I understand that a lot of people feel so much safer in El Salvador and all that, and that's like great. Honestly, it's great. But I'm also somebody that believes that in a country that's the United States, in a country that people get second opportunities, in a country where a felon can turn it around, I'm wondering, are they going to start a system over there in El Salvador where it's like a felony strike that you get, right? And I think they should implement that over there because it feels way too, like,
for sure,
dramatic. And even though, you're safe, bro, and you feel the safest you've ever been in El Salvador, and I applaud that, and I thank the president for doing that. But I still feel like we're humans, yo. And hold on, let me finish this point. The way I feel like they created the biggest prison in Central America, damn near in America. 75 football fields, bro, or something like that. I'm like,
well, think about,
like,
that might be the biggest one, but think about how many we have in the country.
Yeah, and this country is different. It's it's a for profit thing.
So
that's where I'm kind of also like, I don't want El Salvador to go towards for profit.
If I was Bukele sitting here and I'm hearing to what you just said, I think he's
gonna tell me, look, what about all the people that died and the people that got massacred, the people that
I don't think he's
lit
just
on fire at the bus and all that.
I don't think he's just gonna tell you that. I think what he's gonna tell you is that it's a process, and I think that at the beginning of this process, you have to have that strong hand to this thing. I think that's the only way to start the process to getting to that point. But it's like the thing with the situation in El Salvador was so bad, brother, that like, you know, I remember there was a time when he was starting off as president, where there was a day where they went out as a way to try to push people back into fear. They went out, and that day they massacred basically 60 people throughout the country. You know what I mean? And this is while Bukele's already president trying to do these things. So it's like that's kind of the crime that they were competing against. And I feel like the only way you can combat that is with a strong arm. Because it's like, how are you going to give these people who are very so terrorizing these neighborhoods, this whole country, a second chance at the very beginning when, you know, it's been, and it sucks because again, the corruption that was going on in El Salvador before that made this so much harder.
And it's like,
so that's why I feel like at the beginning it has to have that strong hand. Eventually, I feel like, yeah, you have to find ways to especially if you've brought down the crime this much and gangs are not growing. 5 years from now, this tactic can't be the same because 5 years from now,
bro, if you really
you don't have a gang that's at the magnitude that it was.
Do you really think that we're gonna eradicate gangs, cartels, and drugs and all this worldwide, like eradicate it, completely gone?
I think from what he's doing it right now, you can make it a lesser option, because a lot of the youth that were getting into it was because I don't have another option. I can't leave this country. I can't study. I'm in poverty. I'm gonna become a marero.
Right.
And a lot of people that are friends of our cousins went that route. And like how we said earlier, because of what my mom was able to do with the decision she made coming here and making the right decisions with her money and all that stuff, she was able to kind of avoid that situation for a majority, if not all, of our cousins.
Right, but
you know
that's why I feel like, damn, bro, just a tough situation because
it is, no doubt it is.
I feel like the fact that these people, some of the blame lands on this country for deporting people back over there that weren't meant to send back, that you shouldn't have sent back after a civil war.
Not even just that, supporting a country, supporting a lot of politicians that you knew were supporting a lot of politicians you knew were corrupt. This country, yes, was. Why do you think Biden right now is trying to talk shit about Bukele?
But why
there is other presidents just like him that probably weren't. They were.
Why they backed the country, the guys that were corrupt in El Salvador? Because the guys that were
anti-communism.
No, not only that. Well, yeah, but it's the fact that, okay, you're anti-communist, right? So you're aligning with the agenda of the United States. As long as you align with that agenda, I'm cool. You do it. I don't give a fuck. You can do whatever you want with your country. I could give two fucks. The moment you try to okay, I want to start.
But you know what's funny though? Especially all these countries within Central America, the U.S. has put their hand in. It's bit them in the ass because then all these people have come to this country because of the way they've dipped their hands, supported this politician, supported that, and then have made corrupt, a lot of corruption out of it.
That's why I feel like that.
You know what I mean? Like how many
on doing that? It's a country of immigrants.
Like,
a country
it's crazy how all these a lot of the politicians that were before Bukele, bro, are all corrupt or should be in jail or you know what I mean, type of stuff. Like literally all of them dating back to the Civil War. That's like ridiculous to me, bro. And that's why I feel like it had to be that strong hand for a change to happen.
Bro, we have corruption in this country in politics.
For sure.
So it's they're just mimicking what they've seen on
I'm
just
glad that that's being, at least for this time period, has been
we can
maybe not eradicated, but
we can go into
been
the corruption of what we saw with the CDC coming out, and they didn't put the head of the CDC in the loophole with Dr. Fauci, and they shut down the whole world. They shut down countries. They shut down businesses. They had people thinking that you were crazy for thinking that I'm not gonna take a vaccine. That they were like, you're crazy for not taking it. I'm gonna flag your post for not.
And
come
honestly,
on, bro. Like that's corruption at the highest level.
No
Twitter
doubt.
was even paying people to be like,
no doubt.
I'm gonna censor this guy. Shut this guy up.
So we're talking about who's pulling the strings and all that for the politicians in El Salvador, right? So who's pulling the strings for the politicians and everything here in the United States?
It's the globalists, bro. It's clear as fuck. So it's the same thing in El Salvador. They just want the same thing to keep rolling. It's like it's the same concept, smaller country that they want to go. That's why I'm saying like El Salvador is great for what they're doing, but it's also headed towards a thing that I feel like, fuck, bro, like that can happen anywhere else where they like, yeah, you're safe, but bro, you have no rights of like, it's a police state. You're being monitored all the time, and you're being like, that's where I start looking. That's where I question everything, and I'm like what happened to
who's when you said you're being monitored, you're being
me, everybody. What you mean, like?
But is that not happening in this place too?
That's
bro?
why I said
Are we not being monitored?
It's a global thing.
Yeah,
everywhere.
that's that. But I don't see it too much as a police state because
it's a police state when you can't be. When it's a police state when you believe that the government is in charge of your safety. That's when it's a police state. when I feel like in this country, bro, in Texas, in Missouri, in the South, not in California, not in New York because it's liberal, but in those other states where it's more conservative and it's less government, more power to the people, you get to protect yourself. In Memphis, bro, why do you think young Dolph got killed with a gun on him? Because he knew you got to have a gun on you.
But I don't think that was never the issue. And I saw that for example, you don't have right to have a gun or anything like that type of stuff.
What do you mean? There's no right to guns over there?
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
You can have a gun over there.
You can't own a gun like it is over here. There's no Second Amendment in the Bill of Rights in El Salvador like that, bro. It's not in your innate Bill of Rights of the Bill of Rights of El Salvador to own a gun, bro.
We'll have to double check that.
I'm pretty sure, bro. Because if that was the case, all this stuff would, like, the gang members would have, like, guns from Mexico up the ass, but they don't, bro. They have guns from the guerrilla, bro. They don't have guns like, oh, I'm gonna go buy a gun like they have over here and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different thing. That's why I'm saying it's a police state. It feels like a police state. As much as anytime the military has to get involved for your security, it's a police state, bro.
I have to double check as far as
what
a gun law is.
You can look it up right now, bro.
Because I don't think that it's much like that.
I'm pretty sure, bro, you can't, like, you have to own a business. You have to have a certain reason. It's not just like in the United States where any citizen could get a gun for your safety or for hunting or for this or for, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like that over there, bro. It's like the same thing in Mexico. In Mexico, it's illegal, bro. Like, this is one of the only countries in the world where we have that right, where you should be able to protect yourself. And that's why I feel like I come from that end of the spectrum where I'm like, like, even though I don't own a gun and I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I would still feel like, shit, I want to own a gun just to be able to feel like, yo, I could protect myself. Especially I'm not somebody that's in big stature and all that, you know what I mean? Like, but I just feel like you're taking power away from people that, like, they should have the power.
So from what I'm seeing here, this is like the gun laws they have. The first one that it says here is the right to private gun ownership is not guaranteed by law, but not prohibited by law.
But it's not guaranteed.
Private possession of
everybody's guaranteed as long as you're not a felon.
Private possession of a fully automatic weapon is prohibited. Fully automatic, and for the most part, that's
every country's damn near like that. Yeah.
Private possession of a semi-automatic assault weapon is permitted under license.
That's why I said businesses and like
under license. It doesn't say. It doesn't right. From what I'm reading, it's not saying anything else. Private possession of handguns is permitted under license. Pistols and revolvers. Civilian possession of rifles and shotguns is regulated by law. The private sale and transfer of firearms is prohibited. Private sale, even here, it's prohibited. You can't sell. I can't sell you a gun. I have to go to a gun store and do the whole transfer. Dealing firearms by way of business without a valid gun dealer's license is unlawful. Meaning there is dealers of guns in El Salvador.
Yeah, but it's not common like it is.
The minimum weight for a lawful firearm purchase to be completed is undetermined. Gun shows and temporary fire.
That tells you a lot right there, brother.
And firearm, yeah, because I mean, even
that means that it's not easy to. What do you mean? It takes less than a month to get a gun in this state.
It's a week actually, from what I know. Gun shows and temporary firearm dealing.
A week to get your background checked, and then I hear it's like another week for something else, and then you get it on by the third week or something, or maybe like the 14th day or something like that. But it doesn't say undetermined, because I'm sure in El Salvador they're gonna do an extensive
of course, especially with the situation going on. Gun shows and temporary firearm dealings events are not regulated in law.
So imagine if you're a public defender and you publicly defended somebody that got locked up that has homies that they're gonna try to X you out.
So what we basically we're able to prove though is that you're able to have a gun in El Salvador. And there's no way. We have to look into it. We have to look into it a little deeper if it says you have to have a business or anything like that. No, right. All it said here is that you have to have a license.
I proved that it's not in the Bill of Rights, though.
And it's the same.
It's an innate right of this country that anybody that's a citizen in this country should have a gun. That's what I'm. That's what I'm comparing it to.
But even here in this country,
and I said it. Only if you're not a felon.
But even here in this country, you have to get a license to get a gun. I mean, and that's what it's saying here. That's all it stated here is that it had to have a license for it.
It's also said undetermined. The time lapse for you is
undetermined, yes.
So that's what I'm saying. It's more difficult. And honestly, over here, you know the time lapse of how much you're going to get.
But at the same time, honestly,
in Arizona, let me point something out. You can get it tomorrow.
Let me point something out.
Let me point something with the gun right there.
Let me point something out to you though. With all this stuff that's happening, and when they try to say
that, let's fight.
And they try to say, oh, this person is mentally deranged, or they have an illness or anything like that. When we've seen certain mass shootings, and it's like, they say they determine this once they're in court and all that stuff.
Use that stance, bro.
My point is, why should it not be undetermined here too? Why shouldn't it take a deeper process for people to undergo before they get a gun here in the United States as well?
So, I mean,
why would it not? Given all the stuff we've been through in the last so many years with all these mass shootings, and then the determination is this person was not mentally right.
You know why I feel like? Because mental health is tricky, bro.
Definitely
mental health, you can be mentally stable when you bought the gun right now, and then a month later get triggered by something that's gonna fucking.
But again, if you have a gun, why should you not be going through these type of? Even if, in my opinion, bro, I think owning a gun.
I agree with you.
And my point, owning a gun anywhere should be like getting a license for a car. Every 5 years or so, you get tested again, even if it's the written test.
And I agree with that.
I believe it should be like that.
So that means you believe in less government too, so that the citizen can.
So and I feel like that's in a sense more government, because if you have a license, if you have a license for a gun, and every 5 years you have to go and see where you're at with that licensing again. I think that's right, because they do that already with a car, which is, you can say, is a deadly weapon as well. You can kill someone with a car.
And more people die deadly of a car than guns.
You know what I mean? So that's why I think that with that aspect, it's like when I see that undetermined thing in El Salvador, there's circumstances for it there, and I think there could be circumstances for it here that apply as well in the United States, given all the mass shootings that we see. Given that we got to day 30 and we had more mass shootings in the year than we'd had days, type of stuff. You know what I mean? When we were back in January, when the whole Ontario thing happened, remember?
Yeah, but the mass shootings always go like, I don't know, bro. Like,
but I'm just trying to say, like, how many a majority of shootings have been
mass shootings are considered
mentally unstable,
three or more people.
But when it's happened,
doesn't mean that it's
when
like
we see those cases of it's a mental, I'm like, bro. Like, for example, I think that's Ontario one. They still haven't been able to determine why this guy ended up dead, obviously. But whenever they catch the person, and it's like, it's been these school shootings too. It's like, oh, the person was, or the one it was I remember when the Dark Knight Rises came out, guy's mentally ill. The Florida shooting happened. The student is mental. You know what I mean? All these type of stuff that's
honestly,
just
if we're gonna sensationalize that part, I'm gonna say that half these things I feel like happen, and then they use these circumstances to take the guns away from us instead of being
no doubt.
Like, yo, we're gonna start
regulating it right
this way. And
I think that's the right key. So it's like, because I believe that it should be a right continuously, but at the same time we had to regulate it, because there's outliers. And for those outliers, we're gonna. But there's lives that casualties.
That's what I'm saying. That mental health is tricky, bro. Because
no doubt. But that's why I said you can go from
one moment you're good and you got the gun, you're right, and then you find out your wife is cheating on you with something. Like, you're gonna lose your shit.
No doubt.
And then you're a gun owner at that point.
And I think the only way you can minimize that is by doing those certain things. You know what I mean? You're not gonna eliminate it completely.
But then that's why I feel like.
That was crazy though. That's how I knew I was mentally right.
Right.
I didn't want to blow nobody's head off when that happened, you know what I mean? Point is,
because that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like ultimately, if you get closer to God and you're a gun owner, you're not gonna just blow somebody's house, because you've learned to have self-control.
No doubt, but like you said, mental health is tricky. So I feel like you have to have those checkpoints, if you will.
But that's what I'm saying. If you don't have God at the center, if you don't have no type of.
This is crazy. Because also if you're not mentally right, and you say I want to go hurt somebody, I can theoretically get my car and just go ram it into a bunch of people.
And it's happened before.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. It's very intriguing. It's very, very
I just
crazy.
feel like it was like the thing that Andrew Tate said about bullying and school mass shootings, right? The reason why they're happening is because people don't respect others. There's no more respect. Parents are teaching respect. Like, it's something that's being lost in the world, in the community. Therefore, when you have less respect for life, you start doing some wild shit that you think you saw in a movie that you think is okay because you're being conditioned to. It's all connected in that sense. So it's like, because if you respect somebody, you're also gonna love that person. There's no respect without love. It's like vice versa. There's no love without So it's like, but the world humanity is losing self-respect.
Without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if people start teaching self-respect and respect of others, respect of how others look and how others feel, like, things would be a lot different. But The fact that we don't have that is why there's wars on political spectrums, economic wars, and then we go to full-on blown wars, gang wars, this country against that country, proxy wars, and it's just because everybody want to be in everybody else's business. Like right now, bro, we're still in Ukraine. It's about to be a year, almost 2, isn't it? No, a year, right?
I think 2.
It's just like, bro, but we're talking about a bank failed in this country that we've been sending $300 million to that country over there. A bank failed in this country. They're about to bail out that bank, and the middle class is just non-existent anymore. They're telling us now that COVID wasn't a bat. It was gene therapy. Bro, I'm so bothered that the people aren't talking about that as much as we should be, because it's like, I remember being pointed out. It's crazy, you know, and it's like, damn, bro. Like,
well, look, I don't
think women had intuition. God gave me an intuition.
I think there's 2 things when it comes to the COVID thing. There's 2 things. There's one thing. There's a group of people saying COVID is not real. It's not a real illness.
I never believed that part either.
Okay, so there's that group of people, right? Then there's a group of people who are saying that, okay, this is something that, like, you know, the government knows about, all that stuff. It's not just
they fucking made that shit, bro.
You know what I mean?
They
like,
funded it.
There's two groups of people, you know what I mean? There's some people that and the group of people that say that COVID wasn't real and that it's not killing all these people are the ones that are where people get offended. Because there's people that they did have family members that died of that stuff, you know what I mean? So
that's my point.
You know what I mean?
They fucking engineered something to kill off people, and I was saying this before.
Yeah, so I'm just trying.
That's the
I'm trying to see the 2.
Y'all could go back in the episodes and the other episodes on the podcast.
Why people were calling you crazy? Because you were saying one side, you weren't saying that, like.
What do you mean? I always stated that it was something to population control.
No.
That they were going to try to kill off all the fat, obese people that didn't have a sedentary lifestyle.
You weren't saying that it was like. Wishing, I mean, sometimes you.
What do you mean? I just said that.
Gone on that line is to say that this illness was not like a real illness or something like that.
I never said that.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say in that, but you weren't saying. I mean, you're on the other side of.
I'm on the side of they lied to us
some
about.
Some people were also mad about that too.
I mean, if they, those people that are saying that, oh, this wasn't real, are not wrong either, because in the sense of, if they're telling us it was coming from bats and it's now coming out it was lab grown, is COVID real the way that they told us it was? No. So they're right. But now, is something engineered that was leaked out of a lab that started actually doing damage to the human body? That's real. And the thing that's worse is, then there was a vaccine that started doing even more damage that they still don't want to talk about. But yet, I'm telling you, in 20 years, we're going to see that shit, bro.
Yeah, that's going to probably pay some time.
Go watch on Rumble.
But what is being...
Die Suddenly. Go watch that, people.
Yeah, what is being sent right now is of the...
Twitter files, bro.
Where it came from and all that stuff.
The origins. And that's where I'm shocked that I'm like, damn, bro, CNN isn't covering this? How? How is NBC and all these, like, ABC, everybody, nothing?
Yeah.
Nah, bro. And then another thing I want to say. Like, they kicked Kyrie off of Nike for his stance on what he said, right? I don't even want to bring it up. I'm going to just say his stance. Believing that he is part of a group that people say, no, how could you be part of that group, right? And then a guy that's waving a gun in a strip club, Nike endorses him for taking accountability. But he didn't have a gun in his he didn't post a gun on his IG story, bro. He posted a link to an Amazon's book that they're still selling
to this day. Yeah.
And like, you pull the plug on, bro, he having a great season. And then the other dudes, like, so that's where I feel like is a disconnect. Is Nike endorsing a guy that's like I fuck with Ja, man. I like Ja. But your off-court personality that you're trying to portray is too much like what the kids see in the streets, and you're confusing them.
And not just that, with the kids listen to in the music.
That's what I'm saying. But
that's also why last week when we were talking about, you know, music and all that, I brought that up to Manny. I'm like, this guy's listening to a lot of Key Glock, huh?
Who is?
Ja.
Nah, Key Glock ain't talking like that, bro. Key Glock ain't not talking like.
He's into a lot of Young Thug. My bad.
Maybe it's more
Young Thug,
NBA Young Boy, bro.
Young Thug, but I was like,
Young Thug for sure, but Young Thug locked up, so he's not really dropping nothing.
No doubt. But a lot of his music, that's why they have the like they're bringing out his lyrics and the.
I mean, I would say NBA, Dirk, anybody that's promoting gunplay. You know, I mean, yeah, Key maybe has a couple songs where he's saying that.
His name is Key Glock,
but I don't know, man. Like I listen to Key Glock. Because of his,
to me, it sounds just like
Young Dolph, like he talking about motivation and getting your money and all this. Like that's why I like Key Glock. I don't feel like he talking about I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna kill you, and all this shit. Like it's more like I got it on me in case you come and try me type shit.
Gotcha.
But I've heard other people where it's like they're telling these stories and they're telling this shit where it's like damn, even like for me, I was influenced by Future, and I'm so glad that a couple weeks ago I was like my spirit told me not to go to the concert because it's like it's not what I'm about anymore, and like I was supposed to go to Rolling Loud, and who I wanted to see was Future, and I started asking myself why do you want to see Future so much? And I'm like,
honestly, I wouldn't even want to see him in concert.
Why?
Yeah, for me, he's not the concert music type of artist I would like to go see.
I feel you, but he was
because it's just mumble rap. Like I saw Migos live, and I was like. I was cool, but like Future, I mean, is even more mumble rap, bro. Like I like Future as of lately because he'll be doing he's dove into a lot like what Drake does. You know what I mean? Well, he'll do like kind of like.
I don't consider him mumble rap anymore.
Not anymore, but like there's certain things.
You know who's mumble rap to me?
I feel like at a concert though he's gonna do that music.
Designer's mumble rap. No, it's because this is the thing.
At a concert he's gonna do that type of music.
When Future dropped. You didn't understand what he was saying because of the way he like rap.
Again, but that's the type of songs that he's gonna say.
If you really listening, you can understand what he's saying.
No, for sure.
So it's like, but I just feel like I think who really mumbles is
for a concert though. I'm not with it, bro.
But he was the headliner. He got the hits. He just dropped a platinum album.
No doubt, but I'm not my forte. Like
so
for example, end of the month, I'm trying to see Freddie Gibbs, bro. Like. That's for I'm pretty much.
Freddie Gibbs would be with the gunplay, but he's lyrical.
Freddie Gibbs mad lyrical.
That's why I feel like
Freddie Gibbs isn't. He's talking about. I feel like he's talking about like past stuff.
For sure, but it's. I mean, everybody is. I don't think any rapper that's really rapping is really.
I think some rappers are talking about what they're currently involved in, type of stuff. You know what I mean?
If you're really talking about what you're currently involved in and you rapping and you on top, you're an idiot. And that's for the guys that are locked up right now, like Doug.
For sure.
Because he was literally talking about what he's involved in at the moment, and then ends up getting locked up for it. So.
For sure, but you have someone like Freddie Gibbs, where like academics trying to say that he's never lived that life, his dad was a cop, all this type of stuff. Academics a hater. Screw you, Freddie Gibbs.
I think Freddie Gibbs. It's free will, bro. If it doesn't matter just because your dad's a cop, that don't mean you have the free will to choose whatever the fuck you want to choose.
For sure.
So maybe he just chose I'm gonna choose a street life, and the fact that I got my dad as a cop, I get the easy way out. While my boys are gonna get locked up for a long time, and I get to get out because I got my dad in a cop.
Point is, I gotta go see Freddie Gibbs like a couple of weeks.
I mean,
Observatory. What's good?
It was supposed to be Tory Lanez?
No, I said the Observatory. Tory Lane's locked up, bro. What you mean? Over here shooting females and
damn.
But yeah, bro.
Good one though.
Yeah.
Yep. Y'all have a good one, man. Peace out. A-Town. LA.